hope we get a topwater bite. I want to get a topwater, or at least a couple fish.
This water's 87 degrees. They're probably going
I
to
got one. He hit it on top. What it was, the spinnerbait was all kind of crooked.
I saw you kind of
it.
jerking around on it there.
Look at this guy.
I thought maybe you had some grass on it.
That's a good one.
That's a good fish, isn't it?
Yeah. Nice big old.
The blade wasn't even spinning, was it? I got one too. I got one too.
You got one?
Well, they're eating that blade up early this morning.
Yeah, boy.
This bite may not last long, but it's lasting good right now. Oh, that's a pretty one. That's bigger than the one I got. I mean, the one I got's good. I don't know. Boy, he's pulling like a banshee. Golly.
Huh. Okay.
He may not be. He may be the same size as yours.
Yeah. What you got, Jimmy?
I got a good one.
Huh?
I got a good one.
So like, okay, I'm throwing mine back.
Oh, come here, baby. Bigger than yours.
He didn't want to have them compared.
That's a good, healthy fish, so. Spinnerbaiting early in the morning, as that sun gets out, it could shut this spinnerbait bite off. But it probably, as long as we still have low light, it might not. That sun gets a little bit higher. We'll go to crankbaits and worms and jigs and whatever. Whatever. Another one. Golly. They're busting that blade on top of the water, aren't they? Jeez. Get out early, early, early. I've been kidding a lot over the last several years, Roland. I tell people that fish don't bite as early as they used to. They're still biting. Jimmy's just not out here a lot of times early as he needs to be. That's a beauty right there. Look how fat that fish is. Boy, that thing's got some teeth on them. Ooh. Get the top of my lip on that kiss. Mercy. Sweetness.
Oh, he came after.
Oh, you got him.
You got it.
You got him.
Popping that blade on top, pop it on top, and then kind of get him going, and then they come after it.
Yep. Looks like a little shad flickering on top of the water when you let that blade pop out. I like to do that.
Popping them on top. Nice couple pounder.
Kind of looks like a little shad.
You know the thing about this spinnerbait, I'll have to give Jimmy a lot of credit on this thing. This is an indestructible spinnerbait. Because last week we went down to the Mississippi Delta. We caught great big 30-pound redfish on this. And look, this is one of them that I caught it on. And it's not even torn up. It's got a real heavy-duty wire. And those big 30-pound redfish, they didn't tear it up at all. Tore the skirt up maybe. Have to change skirts and stuff.
Skirts on.
But as far as the bait itself, it's indestructible.
The reason it doesn't break is it's got that circle, that old safety pin bend. Spinner plug time. There's a lot of grass all over here, and we're not really that close to the bank, but we're over the top of grass. That's the main thing. And grass is about 5 foot down. Well, grass is about, the water's 5 foot deep. Grass is about 2 or 3 foot down, obviously. Perfect, perfect, perfect time. I don't know how many times in tournaments I catch a limit on the spinnerbait the first hour of the day.
That's a good one. Yep. I threw about a 100-foot cast to get back in front of Jimmy, which is hard to do.
I'm fishing on the other
side. And
he hit
the fish hit immediately.
On the other side of the boat, Roland.
Way out there. I mean, way out there.
Fishing 150 on the other side of the boat, you still tried to throw in front of me.
I got to throw in front of Jimmy.
All right, I don't mind.
To catch up to him. He's going to hog all the good spots. I got to be aggressive. Be a backseat aggressive fisherman. Ooh,
another double. Got Roland talking, I'm fishing. He's always worried about me being in the front of the boat. I put him in the back of the boat for one day here a while back. We had one of the worst day fishing that we've had in a long time. That's because whoever was operating the trolling motor was trying to absolutely catch every fish, and he was messing up the water, scaring the fish.
Yeah, he let me run the boat one day.
Well, that's pretty good. I thought it was pretty benevolent of me, really.
I got this.
Pretty benevolent. I could actually get over a little closer to the bank. The grass is not too deep. Of course, I can drop the spinnerbait down and tick it on
Now,
top of
what
that
I
grass.
tie, Jimmy showed his knot, but I tie a Palomar knot. I tie a Palomar knot, and that is just going through with the double line through the eye, and making an overhand knot here, just making an overhand loop. And when you do, come out with that open loop, and put the bait right through the open loop, and that's the Palomar.
And that's a good knot. There's no doubt about it.
It's quick.
Most people, when we used to go around the country, you know, with that Berkeley line testing machine. We called it R2-D2 from Star Wars. It was a line testing machine, and we would check people's knots. And a Palomar knot would break usually at about 80% of the line strength, so you lose about 20%. But there is, I missed one there, about 20% of the time or 30% of the time, some people would tie a Palomar knot that was a pure 100%.
Yeah.
Jamie, my son, he'll tie a Palomar knot, and we can put it on that line testing machine, which we did many times, and it'd be 100% about 80% of the time, 70% of the time.
I think it's
But
a lot of
most
it is
people,
pulling
it's
it down.
About, and when I tie it, it's 100% about 20% of the time. But
you got to set them. You
yeah,
know, that's
it
one
depends
thing.
on how you tie it. You tie it good, I'm sure. There's another one. It's important to tie your knot correctly, and you tie it correctly. Ooh, that's a nice one. Oh, he's getting down in that grass. I got a little ridge right here, and he got down in the grass. The ridge, grass coming all the way to the top. Still got him. Oh, he went back. I got him out of the grass, and he went right back in it. Come here, baby. We're not catching giants, but we're catching some really nice fish. And that's a different type of grass right there. What type of grass is that, Roland?
I don't know. It's not hydrilla, huh?
No. Got a little bit in it, but it's a different type of grass right there. This is kind of some hay grass looking stuff. I never asked Roland a fishing question in my life when he said, I don't know. Like, what kind of grass is that, Roland? And he said, I don't know.
It looks like hydrilla to me.
No, it is not hydrilla. That's a common answer. It looks like hydrilla to me. But he usually, he might not know an answer. He might not have it, but he'll give an answer. Oh yeah, Jimmy. It's important when the bluebirds are singing like they are today. If they're not singing, you want to use a different color. I said, what?
It's all a matter of confidence. That's the deal.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah. If you think you're doing the right thing and you're confident of it, you'll fish better. That's
I am
it.
very confident this morning on a red man spinnerbait.
Yeah, boy. Red man's doing good. Oh, boy, one hit it. He really hit it hard. Oh, he's got it. He's got it.
Got it?
He's got it. He's got it.
I think my top of my lip's bleeding where that one fish bit me.
He's got it. He's got it.
I don't know if she was
Good bite going on here today, Jimmy.
Biting
This spinnerbait bite is good.
That's a good fish, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good fish. 3 or 4 pounds at least, maybe 4.
Maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 7.
He's 3 or 4.
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3. Maybe 3. Good fat 3. Fat fish. And you know, another thing is this fish is a catch and release situation, but that fish hadn't been caught before. That's good. That is really good. Little breezy early, that's good.
Yes, sir. Oh, there he is. Oh, that's a pretty beautiful strike there. Man, good one, too.
Big one?
Well, not as big as I thought he was. He stripped out line. The boy's a pretty strike. I mean, he would come right up on top of the water and ate it. Oh, pretty nice fish. God, their teeth are so long. God, I need to have a glove on. Look at that. Medic. Golly. Their teeth are so long. Most bass teeth are not near that long.
I got him. I threw back. I threw back and got him. He'd hit it twice.
If that's a bluegill, it's a world record. How big is that fish?
Nice big
Nice,
bass.
very nice.
Nice big bass. Nice big bass.
Good one.
Good one. That's what we're talking about, folks. Big old 4-pounder. Close to it. That's what we're talking about. Good spinnerbait bite. And with the depressed weed guards, you just have to keep your line tight. You can't give him any slack or he'll jump off. But it's a good way to keep the fish from getting all torn up. But spinnerbait's not as bad as a worm, so that's not bad. That fish hit us 2 other times out there on the same spot. Made a long cast.
The one good thing about a spinnerbait, you know, is they're never going to swallow it like they do a worm hook. Yep, well, I saw him boil up it on top of the water.
Yeah, right up to the top of the water.
That was pretty, wasn't it?
They raised it up to the top, and they wanted it shallow. They really wanted it shallow.
It's a good fish. The
It's
bite
a
has
big
slowed down on us as that
It's a big
sun
4 or
gets
5
higher.
pounder.
We're going to
It's a
change
big
other baits, I'm
It's a big
sure.
one.
Oh,
yeah.
nice fish.
Nice big 4-pounder.
Golly, as long as they keep hitting that
Nice big
spinnerbait up on
4-pounder.
top of the water, it's hard to change, isn't it,
I know,
Roland?
you know, Jimmy and I are both power fishermen, and this is my cup of tea. You know, I can fish finesse, and I can go with little worms, and I can do all the Ned rigs and stuff. But give me a spinnerbait, give me a crankbait, give me a big old flipping jig. Hey, I'm a power fisherman. That's what I like to do.
More fun, isn't it?
Okay, my little technique on that one, Jimmy, a little bit different. I'm throwing out to the edge of the grass. I'm letting it kind of sink down a little bit. Kind of lift it up. In the grass, I'm hitting right there, and I kind of drop it a second. Anyway, I'm hitting the grass right now.
Oh, there's one on crankbait. There's one on crankbait, Roland. Oh, he
Yeah.
come off. Doggone it. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He's still on there. He just ran at me, and I thought he came off. All this talking about barbless, and then get one on a crankbait, and he comes off. But he doesn't come off. Not near as big as what we was catching on a. That's my deep smoothie, though. Yeah, I got several of these deep smoothies,
Yeah,
Roland.
I'm gonna try that. That'd be a good deal.
I'm gonna be really careful here. Try to get a hold of this fish, real good tight grip on him before I work on getting those hooks out. See how easy that hook come out? Now, when they're in that part right there, even without a barb, they're hard to get out. Not bad, though. God, those teeth are so long. Killing my hands. Okay, I use a Jimmy Houston knot on here because this thing's got a split ring on it. With a split ring, you can tie a cinch down knot. If I can get the split ring down to fall down for me. I get the split ring to fall down like that right there so you can get your line through it. Take your line and run through the eye of that split ring. Bring it down on the other side. Make sure you get you plenty of line to operate with. Plenty of line to operate with. I got the line laying on the index finger on my left hand. I'm gonna come up here and lay that on there. Now I'm simply gonna wrap it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not 5, not 3, but 4 times. Then you take the end. This is what I put through the split ring to begin with. I'm gonna run through that loop that's around my finger. Get a hold with it tight with my teeth and tighten it down. Now I've got the loop in there. I've got the tag in and the main line. Wet it just a little bit. I want to turn this split ring to make sure that where the split is off to the side. I don't want the split back here in the attached to the lure. I don't want the split right there on that little ring because that split is the weakest part of that ring. So I don't want it in the knot. I don't want it inside my knot. So I want it off to the side. Always look at that. Make sure you got it off to the side. Tighten down your main line. Pull on that tag, the end, your loop. Hold that. Tighten your loop down. Now this is what you end up with. I got a line and my loop. I'm going to take my scissors wherever they are. Now you want to make sure that you don't cut off your main line. I'll take my scissors right there. Main line's over here. Reel down here real close. Cut it off. Got a pure Jimmy Houston knot. There's one. Another one on crankbait, Roland.
Yeah.
They're not as big as what we was catching on the spinnerbait. Neither one of these fish were quite as large. Might be a crappie. Well, that's a bass. Barely hooked. Barely hooked, but good.
Yeah, I might have to go to a crankbait.
I got several of them laying up here. It's a pretty fish, but not near the quality we were catching earlier. Grass is pretty short right out here. See it on my Garmin. That's a nice fish there. They're eating that little smoothie.
They're hitting that grass. The grass bed's paying off.
That one hook must have just a little bit of barb still left on it. All I'm doing is just cranking this thing. I stop it a little bit every now and then, but I'm not stopping it quite as often as I normally do because I'm just getting it down there. It runs 8 foot deep, so if I get it shallower than that, or the grass comes up higher than that, I get grass on it. So if I feel it tick anything at all, I stop it. Summertime fishing, when it's really hot like it is in the south this time of the year, we're having massive heat waves that we haven't seen since maybe 2012, 2013, like 8 or 10 years since we've seen heat like this. And then back in 2008 when we had like 40 some odd days over 100 degrees, and we've had several around 110 in the south, and heat indexes up in the teens and even into the 120s. You want to go early as you possibly can. You want to go late in the evening when it starts cooling off and fish all the way till dark. The middle of the day, the wind dies. If you got a little breeze, it helps, but it's tough. Here's your best deal to do. Start out with a topwater, like Roland started with a topwater this morning, or a spinnerbait, and fish shallow. Waking the bait. This is a red man spinnerbait. We caught a lot of fish on that. This particular bait right there has probably caught over 200 bass. Start out with something shallow, a topwater bait or a spinnerbait, and just stay with that as long as you can. If you've got a lake that you can find some shade, run the shade. Run the shade with your shallow running bait. Now, once you do that, and that bite slows down or sometimes just absolutely quits, is what it did for us today, we moved to a crankbait. This is an American Original Deep Smoothie. We moved to a crankbait out on the edges of the grass and caught a few fish on that. Now, as the sun got higher, that bite even slowed down. And you had to use something that you slow down and fish them slow and easy. That's when we moved to a plastic worm. And we caught them on a hydro tail, Lucky Strike hydro tail, the sneaky stake. Caught them, I think Roland caught a few on a baby Huey. And so we moved down to this. So you want to continually change as your day changes. Now don't think that just works in the summertime. It works all year round. As your day changes, it gets windier, the wind quits, it gets cloudy, cloud goes away, temperature rises, temperature drops. Always be adapting to your fish. When the bite slows down, start adapting, and you're going to have a lot of success out there. Get out there and whack them, whack them, whack them.